Alex and Sam share expert insights specifically for loan officers and commission-based operators. If you originate, sell, or produce in a cyclical real estate business, part two with Alex is about scaling while avoiding the mistakes that quietly destroy margins.
I want to talk about how you built your business because you have this life. You're doing like you're gonna have a 1.8 million storage facility owned free and clear, but you did all of this because you've had a successful business. It's been your income engine. Let's talk about what it looks like now first, and then how you got to build it.
Yeah, yeah. I work with the LOs all the time in our community, and here's the reality. There's not a trick or a tool or not rate update. Like there's not a one size fit all golden bullet that's going to take you from doing like me $1.2 million my first year in the business and then doing, let's say, 65, 70 million over the last 12 months, right? There isn't a golden bullet, and unfortunately, it takes time, right? It does take time. It takes you building relationships. It takes you actually being good at what you're doing. Too many loan officers I've noticed, they get attracted to this industry because of the earnings you can make, but then they don't respect the career either. They don't respect what we do on a day-to-day. So they think that they can just go golf with a bunch of agents and then they're going to start getting a bunch of loans. Yeah, but if you're not good at actually getting loans across the finish line, then they're going to find you out pretty quickly. You're going to get fraud checked, right? But then again, it goes for the same on the other side is you get guys that are like type A that are like, I love guidelines. I love pre-approving clients. I love the loan side, but I don't like going out and talking to people. You're going to be equally as broke as the person that can't do loans. So like what makes being a loan officer so intriguing to me, because I've been in sales, I've sold cars, right? I've sold gym memberships and personal training. Like I've sold different facets and different, vehicles. The way I like about doing loans is it really does require both sides of your brain. You have to be able to communicate with people, overcome objections, ask the right questions, get a good understanding of what they want to, like what their dream outcome is, while also needing to understand, okay, what are the LTV requirements? What are the, loan limits? What are X, Y, and Z of the specific loan or path that you're going to take that client through? And so, it takes time, and it took me time. Like it really did take me time to get to where I'm at. But it's funny that if you obsess over it and you get better every single day, in 5 years from now, which no one wants to talk about that, like, oh man, 5 years is going to take that long. Well, no one tells you that if 5 years from now, you're going to be thinking back like, holy crap, it's been 5 years already. Holy smokes. How did 5 years pass in a blink of an eye? Like my son is 5 years old. I remember holding him for the first time, right? And so like, it's going to go very quickly. And that is one thing that's promised that like, if you don't take the time to build your business the right way, and we're going to talk about some tactics here in a minute, if you don't take the time and you don't have the right mindset and you're not patient while simultaneously, impatient, because it takes both sides, like, patient with results, but like impatient with action, you don't never see that progress. Right. And so my business for the last 2 years have been reborn completely. It's been completely reborn. And I built my business thinking that, okay, I'm going to get a bunch of loan officers and that I'm going to help them build their business. And then I'm going to be able to sit back and not do loans anymore, or maybe not do as much, right? Which, funny enough, isn't really what I want anyways. I don't know why I thought that was the path for me. I never really wanted that, but I just felt that was the right thing to do. So I pushed forward and I just didn't think about it. I was like, this is what we're going to do. We're going to scale to 30 loan officers and we're going to get all these guys that come in and anyone can do this. If I did it, anyone can. Well, I had up to 10 loan officers on my team. I still did 98% of the production. I lost money because the infrastructure cost, but also I was giving them deals that I just could have done myself, thinking that, oh, it's okay. I'm building into this person. I'm giving them an opportunity. Well, come to find out when rates shot up, and it's funny, and I remember having these conversations, Sam. I was like, guys, if you can't do loans when rates are 3%, what makes you think you can do loans when they're 6%? And come to find out, I was right. Not one person's in the business right now that was on my team, which I take that personal because I'm like, man, I failed them. Like I clearly didn't teach them the right way, But as I kind of blew that team up, I've scaled back to me and one person. And honestly, Sam, it's been the best thing I've ever done, to be honest, because it's allowed me to reap more benefits that I've sowed, right? Like I'm making more money because I'm doing the work. And when we have a slow month, I'm not worried about keeping my entire team busy, right? I'm not like, oh, let me just give you something to do, right? And so I feel like right now, at least for the last 24 months, it's been so nice knowing like, great, it's me and one other person. And I'm not saying that I'm never going to hire another assistant or another LOA. I'm not saying that by any means. And I'm a big proponent of building it, like having infrastructure in place and having systems. I'm a big proponent of that. But as of right now, this month, Sam, like I'm going to do the most production this month that I've ever done by myself. And we are going to clock 10.2 million this month in October. 10.2 million. It's a massive month, right? And I couldn't do that without my processor who works full time, and I give her a piece of the pie. So she's making more money than she's ever made. But I just think that most people, from my experience, handicap themselves by building this big nut that they have to hit every month because they've got too much of a head count in their branch or their team. And they can maybe work another 2 or 3 hours a week and not have that many people, right? Like just in reality, like you don't need 3 assistants to do 3 million a month. Like you just don't.
Yeah.
So
True. It's really true. I there's a lot to unpack there. And first thing I want to highlight that you said that I really like is both sides of your brain have to work as a loan officer. You have to know guidelines, but you also have to know sales and people and work ethic. So it's so true. I think what you said about building a team and where your business now is reborn is so true. Alex isn't saying like building a team is the wrong way or it's a bad thing to do. It's just there are good ways of doing it where it's profitable and you can maintain it for a long time. And there are ways that actually expose you to more risk than solve problems for you. Because bodies don't solve problems, processes solve problems. And the better the processes you have, the less bodies you need to throw at it. So that's what Alex is talking about. One processor that he has gets a piece of the pie, so they're incentivized and their processors dialed in so he can do 10 million in 1 month and not completely ruin both of their lives.
Yeah. And honestly too, like one more thing on that 10 million, it's an outlier, right? Like too many people build systems around their outlier months and not taking their average. So I would rather, let's say my average was 5 million a month. Okay. And then we have a pop off month where we did 10 million like this month. Well, sure, if I start doing 4 or 5 months in a row of $10 million months, then I'm going to have to bring another person on our team to handle that. I'll have to. But I think there's a lot of power in knowing where's your sweet spot. I make more money now as a single producer than I made with having 10 LOs on my team because my nut is so much cheaper. My stress is so much cheaper. And so like there's a lot of power into that. Like I've always wanted to do 10 million a month, Sam. I've always like, I'm going to do 10 million a month. I'm going to do $100 million a year, blah, 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 blah. I've never hit over 100 million in a year, in a single year. And I've realized, I'm like, well, why do I want to do that? That's just a vanity metric. Like it's not that much more money that I'm going to make. Like really, like if I was a loan officer right now, starting from scratch, like there's a lot of power in being like, you know what, man, like I want to do 4 million a month. I want to do 4 million a month. For most people, that's $40,000 to $50,000 a month in earnings. That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. Yeah. So like, what is your sweet spot, right? I had someone from my company come down this week and they were asking me, hey, what are your goals this upcoming year? And, we talk about it and they're like, you're going to hire someone. And I was like, yeah, maybe. Like, I'm definitely open to it. I'm not saying I'm anti-assistance. Like, I'm just saying for the business that I'm building for me and that works for me in my life right now, even doing 10 million a month isn't really like what I want to be at. And I know that's so crazy to say. For me, my sweet spot's 5 million because 5 million a month does a lot for me. I can service the clients really well. I'm not working till midnight every night. I'm not working weekends insanely difficult. Like I do work weekends, but like I'm not, I'm passively working. It's just a sweet spot for my life. And it allows me to do what I want to do in my life and give me those freedoms still. 10 million might lock me down a bit more. And I'm like, man, like for what? So anyways, I just think if you're a loan officer, like, and it takes experience to figure this out, but say, okay, where do I want to be? And of course, like there's a survival phase of like, I'm just trying to survive the business. Then you're going to get past that. You will get past that survival phase eventually. And then it's like, okay, well, what business do I want to build that works for me? Some people, I've got friends in this business, Sam, that travel all the time. I'm like, how the hell do you travel all the time? I don't like traveling anyways.
Talking about me.
Yeah, I'm talking about you. I'm talking about, I have another friend that does as well as in Florida. He travels all the time. Like, dude's like a nomad and he just originates. And I'm like, dude, that's awesome. Like, that's the business he built for himself, right? Doesn't have kids, doesn't have a family. Like, he's making really good money, traveling around and just originating. That's awesome. I'm more of someone that needs a little bit more like rigidity in my schedule. Like I told you, like I like to have my, like there's a lot of comfort for me personally being like, oh yeah, I like to be at the office at 8 a.m. I like to have this time here. I like to be in that flow for me. Anyways, the cool thing about this business though, just to put a pin in this, is you can build it however you want, right? And that's the key, is figuring out what works for you and not letting someone else, maybe that's your company or your manager or even me on this podcast, to dictate the type of business